Hey guys, as you can see, the tomatoes are pretty much ripe for picking now. That's what I'm going to do, pick a bunch of these tomatoes, go pick some of those bell peppers. We're going to pick some more cucumbers and some more of those snap beans. We'll talk about the snap beans a little bit later on. But today is Wednesday, November 28th. We're right here at the end of the month, still got a couple more days. And for a lot of people, the end of the month is a hard time, especially if you're on a fixed income. You pretty much, your money's run out. The refrigerator might be a little bit slack. The cabinets, probably not a whole lot left in there either. So getting some fresh produce at the end of the month, I think, really helps people out. And so whenever possible, I try to do a nice picking toward the end of the month and try to disperse it amongst a whole bunch of people. And speaking of helping out, next Friday, December 6th, I think it is my next radio broadcast. And what I wanted to talk about was specific varieties that grow well in a given area. I'm in Virginia, and what grows well here won't necessarily do the same thing in North Dakota or somewhere in New Mexico or southern Florida. Growing conditions vary all across the country. I can give you what grows well where I'm at, but that's not going to help somebody who's got a totally different growing situation. So my idea is this: in the comment section, if you could list your state and maybe what city you live in, because there is a variation, across the state, much like in Virginia, from Virginia Beach to Roanoke, totally different growing conditions there. But if you could list that, and just list some of the vegetables that you grow and what varieties have done well for you, not so much concerned about the ones who didn't perform, but say whatever cabbage you had, whether you had a Stonehead or early Jersey Wakefield, late Flat Dutch, same thing with whatever kind of onions, tomatoes, cucumbers, all of this stuff. What I want to do is compile a list and be able to go down it by region or by state just about, for people who are getting into gardening for the first time and may not know exactly what they should be growing. The comment section I know is kind of small, so if you want to, you can just send me an email or send me a PM. Email address, send it to mhpgardener@yahoo.com, and I'll compile all this stuff and try to put it into a format where anybody tuning in can say, I'm in Colorado, what do you have that might grow well in my area? And just try to help these folks out. And if I get, several people from the same state who have grown the same variety, I think it's safe to say that anybody else who planted that particular variety should be able to have some success with it. That's my plan anyway. Right now, my plan is to go ahead and get a bunch of these tomatoes off, get them into some tubs, and get them on up the road. I got them picked over pretty good. Got me 4 little tubs down there. Let's go around the other side and see what's in that long bed. This is what the long bed looks like. Before I get started picking, let me just go down there real quick and just pick the ripest ones off of it. Well, it looks a little bit different now. I got the ripest ones off, and you talking about some pretty tomatoes. Man, I tell y'all, these are the prettiest tomatoes I believe I had ever seen, to have the size that they have and the consistency. Big Beef is a mighty fine tomato. Recently, I was talking about these Vortex pole beans, and I made the comment that they were the best beans I'd ever had. Pretty much melt in your mouth. I mean, they are that good. No strings whatsoever. Even when they get 12, 14 inches long, snap up real nice, excellent tasting. And I think a lot of people went ahead and ordered some beans to have in their garden for next year. And I made the comment to Sandra down in South Carolina that if she bought some beans and she tried them out and they were not the best she ever had, I would reimburse her for the cost of the seed. I'm going to go one better than that. I'm going to pick these beans right now, put them in a box, and I'm going to ship them down to South Carolina and give Sandra an opportunity to try them before she ever has to put a seed in the ground. And we'll get an expert opinion. She's a mature lady, no doubt been gardening for many years, and would have a pretty good idea of a good snap bean when she comes across. So let me see if I can pick enough off of here to put in a box and send down to her, so she can at least get a couple meals out of it. This ain't too bad of picking for just 5 little plants. Not bad at all. I don't know how much Sandra eats at one sitting, but I believe this will be enough right here for her and her husband to sit down and have a real nice meal. She might have some taters thrown in there with them too. And these guys like this, you just pop that end off real easy, and the rest of it, snap it up, put it in the pot. That's some fine eating. And I seriously believe this will be the best snap bean she's ever had before. I sure hope so. Well guys, that's a pretty good picking. I got me a little bucket of those Camelot bell peppers. Just picking the red ones right now, because when they turn red, they are a lot sweeter than when they're green. And you talk about some tomatoes, great day in the morning. Those things are perfect. Got some of those Diva cucumbers, and there's Miss Sandra's snap beans. And right there in the middle is one heck of a tomato. It's one of the biggest I've ever grown. My max has been right in that 1 pound, 8 ounce range, just above 1.5 pounds. I just weighed this one, and it came in at 1 pound, 9.9 ounces. So basically 1 pound and 10 ounces, well over 1.5 pounds. And I'm pretty proud of this one. I've never been able to get into the 2 pound range, but to be able to have one of the biggest tomatoes I've ever grown going right into the winter, I think that's pretty cool. And it also is a pretty big testament to just how fine a plant or quality tomato plants the Big Beef really is. It is one fine tomato. And just for a little perspective, these are the regular hand-sized tomatoes right here. You can see how soft they are now, where they are really ripened up. And this guy right here, he's going to tear a piece of loaf bread all to pieces. Slice this thing up about a 1/2 inch thick, put it on that sandwich, get you some of that country bologna and some Duke's mayonnaise. That can't be beat. Whatever you do in life, the only thing you can ever do is your very best, whether you're doing something or giving something. And in this situation right here, I'm going to send these snap beans down to South Carolina to Miss Sandra down there. And I'm going to go ahead and put a tomato in that box. And I don't believe I can do any much better than this right here. So I'm going to put this in the box along with those snaps and make darn sure that just in case the snap beans ain't up to her liking, she can at least have a nice tomato sandwich. All right guys, we're going to wrap it up right here. Just some beautiful produce. These Camelot bell peppers, I tell you, when you can get them nice and red, it's almost kind of like an apple eating on the end of it. Got a real hint of sweetness to it. Real good tasting pepper. The Big Beef tomatoes, I've grown them outside, grown them inside, showed y'all exactly what they do. I'm going to tell you what, it's hard to beat a tomato like this. It's good eating, very productive, mighty fine tomato. I know a lot of people prefer to stick to heirlooms, open pollinated varieties, but if you have a place where you can stick a couple of hybrids in there, I would highly recommend Big Beef. I feel mighty blessed to be able to do this, especially this late in the year when most everybody else's gardens are done, to have this quality produce. I'm a blessed fella, I tell you. Again, if y'all could help me out with the vegetable information for the radio show, just let me know what varieties grew well in your area. You can post a comment down below, send me a PM, or just send an email to mhpgardener@yahoo.com. I'll get it, and I'll try to compile all this stuff and let the new folks know, or give them some idea anyway, of some varieties that people have actually grown and did well in their area. All this stuff right here, I'm going to take care of it shortly. I do give a lot away, but I don't give everything away. And matter of fact, this one right here, I've been sitting here looking at this one for a little bit, and you know what? I don't think he even needs to be laid back down anymore. The only thing you can do in this situation, and y'all have seen this before, and I'll tell you what, just like a cook has to taste their cooking, well, if you're a gardener, once in a while, you got to taste your own produce. I'll tell you what, that's one heck of a tomato. Y'all take care, and Lord willing, I'll see you next time. Man, that's good.